Um, Hi, my name is PJ Hernandez. Um, I just wanted to make this video. It's nothing crazy. Um, I just wanted to talk really quick about kind of my walk with God. Um, my walk with God's been it's been a long one. It's been a strange one. It's been really weird, but I just wanted to get my some of my story out there. You know, maybe some people relate. But I'm 22 years old. I'm a senior at Fresno State, and I've gone through a lot, you know, whether I've told people or not. I've been through a lot mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, just things like that. And it's taken me a long time. It's taken me a long time to come back to God finally, and to just you know, just just want to be in the presence of God, to just understand God, to want to do better for God, to do better for myself, to do better for my family, my friends, and just the people around me. It's taken me a long time. I've dealt with lust, dealt with greed, pride, envy, like everything you could think of. I've dealt with it, and slowly I've gotten better over time. But it's not to the point where I want it to be at yet. It's not to the point where I know that God would be proud of me. That God would be like, PJ, you've done a good job. I'm proud of you, my son. It's not to that point yet where I want it to be. And that's why I've been trying to get closer to God. Because I've always known God. Even if I haven't gone to church, I kind of distanced myself from God my freshman year of high school, up until now. Up until pretty much summer. And it's been hard for me, like during that whole time, I was a sinner. I was a really big sinner, not in the sense that like I would go out and drink and party and stuff like that, but I would just cuss a lot. I would just do dumb things like I would just not be the godly man that I'm supposed to be. Um, and that it's hard. It was really hard. I always knew it in the back of my head, like like this isn't who I'm supposed to be. This isn't who I'm supposed to be. This isn't the man I am. This isn't the man that God made me. But I kept doing it anyway. I kept doing it, and I kept doing it, and I kept doing it. And after a while, after a certain point, some family stuff happened. Um, and I just kind of, I knew in my head, like, I, I need to be the man that I'm supposed to be. I need to be the man that God has made me to be. I need to be the godly man for my family, for God, first of all, for God, then for my family and for me. I need to be that man. So I started going back to church in the summertime. Um, but even when I went back to church during the summertime, I was still a lukewarm Christian, is what a lot of people call it. I didn't really I didn't really follow the faith. I just kind of went a couple times here and there, and I'd be like, oh, like I feel good about myself. I feel good, and that's cool. Like yeah, like I'm going to church and stuff, but I wasn't really taking anything from the message. Now that I'm over here in Fresno, just literally just recently, I found a church. One of my friends invited me to it. It's a young adult group, and I really like it. It's really fun. It the first time I went, you know, started crying. I just the message in general, and just kind of how they presented everything and how they talked about it. It just really, I felt God. For me, I personally felt that that was meant for me. I was there that night because I was supposed to be there to hear that message, so that way I can know like, hey, I gotta I, I gotta go. I gotta get there. I gotta do what God wants me to do, and I gotta be better for Him and for myself and for my family. Um, and the message that night was just talking about how technology, and just kind of how everything. Don't get me wrong, I love technology and I still do, but it's just kind of how technology and how things like that in our society today has really affected the way that we view God and that we view a lot of things around us. Kind of in the sense that like instead of slowly building your relationship with God, instead of having that walk with God, a lot of people want to have a race. They want to race to God. They want to see how fast they could become a better person. they want it to be now. They want to have that relationship with God now. They want that miracle to happen right now. They want everything that God has promised us to happen now. And it's like there were, Pastor Jeff and John were talking about it, and they were saying, you know, like that's not how it works. God isn't sprinting. God isn't Usain Bolt. God's not sprinting alongside you and you're both racing to the finish line. It's called a walk with God for a reason. Um, I'm not the best Christian, and I'm trying to get there. I'm working on it slowly. Um, but you know, it's a walk with God for a reason. You're walking with Him. It takes time. It's the same with the relationship. You're building a relationship with God, the same that you would want a relationship with a girl. You don't want it to go by super fast. You want to take it slow. You want to have that walk with God every single day. You want to be a better person than you were the day before. And the next day, you want to be a better person than the day you were before. You want to pray. You want to do everything that God asks of you, or asks of you. You want to do everything that God asks of you, just so that way you know that you're doing God's will. So, and you're not doing it for yourself so that you feel good. You're doing it so that way you're doing it out of the will of God, if that makes sense. And I know I'm not the best at like explaining or kind of, you know, getting into that stuff, just because, like I said, I really just kind of got back into the faith. But like I said, I thought it was important for me to just kind of come out there and, you know, just talk about where I'm at in my faith. And yeah, you know, it's been tough for me though. You know, every day I'm working on it. You know, I'm really trying to become that person that, you know, God needs me to be, that my family needs me to be. And it's hard. It's hard. You know, lots of nights of just being angry at myself, just kind of hating myself. I know hate's a strong word, but just kind of hating myself for doing the things that I know aren't right, for doing the things that I know I shouldn't have done. And it's always eating at the back of my head, knowing that, did I make the right choice? I know I didn't make the right choice. Why do I keep doing it? Why do I keep hurting others? Why do I keep hurting myself? And it sucks. It's the worst feeling in the world. But, and this, you know, that's the reason why I want God back in my life, because I don't want to feel like that anymore. I want to wake up knowing like, hey, today's a new day. Like, God has blessed me with life. God has blessed me to go live. God has blessed me to go be His messenger, and God has blessed me to go do the things that He wants me to do, instead of living for myself, instead of, you know, like trying to, you know, talk to girls, or instead of trying to, like, you know, instead of trying to force a relationship with someone, or instead of trying to, like, you know, like go hang out with my friends and go, like, you know, just cuss, or like them like talking about all these girls, and them talking about going to parties, and them talking about doing all that. Like, I personally don't go to parties or do anything like that, but, you know, just being around those people, like, I don't being around when I get around those type of people, you know, I switch up the way I talk. I switch up the way I am. I'm like, I start cussing more. I start, like, you know, I don't feel like I'm becoming the person that I should be. And, you know, I just want to be a better influence for those friends in my life. I want to be able to help those friends in my life, and just I want to be there for them when they need me, and, you know, just do what I can for them by working through the will of God. Um, but yeah, that's it's kind of my story. I know it's not, like I said, it wasn't anything crazy. I just wanted to kind of just update everyone, you know, on how I was doing. And you know, I also, another quick thing, I think something that will help me in my walk with God, and just kind of help me grow closer to God. For me, what I feel is I'm gonna, you know, cutting my hair. I'm gonna be getting a, like, you know, a buzz cut, you know, whatever you want to call it, just shaving my head, pretty much. And for me, that's signifying just kind of like starting over anew. You know, kind of really like signifying in the physical, in the flesh, that I'm erasing the old person that I was, and I'm becoming a new person by shaving my head, and by forcing myself to follow the word of God, so that way, like I said, I could do the will of God, so that way I could live a better life, so that way I could be happier, so that way I don't have worries, I don't have doubts, I don't have any of these things, because I'm living through God instead of living through myself. And also another thing, I think fasting. Um, I was told by one of the pastors at the new church that I go to that fasting, it helps you. It helps with conquering your desires, conquering the physical desires that you want for life. Fasting helps with that because obviously hunger is a natural desire. Hunger is a natural desire that everyone needs. You know, like I'm hungry right now. Like, you know, but if you fast, if you're able to conquer that hunger, if you're able to control your hunger with your own mind, with your own willpower, then through God, you'll be able to control your lustful urges. You'll be able to control your greedful urges. You know, just everything. You'll be able to control all of the urges that you had, all the sins that you wanted to commit. If you're able to conquer your hunger in the flesh, then it should be easier. It should be a lot easier to conquer that lustful urge that you have. That lustful urge of, oh, I want to go talk to this girl. Oh, like, let me go sleep with this girl. Let me go be with this girl. It's like, no, like, I conquered my hunger. If I'm able to conquer my hunger with God and with myself, then I'm able to conquer that lustful urge just as easily, you know? And I think that's what I'm going to start doing, just kind of, you know, fasting, just to help me. Fasting 1 day a week, maybe even 2 days a week, just to really solidify, like, God, I'm a servant of you, and I'm letting go of everything, and I'm giving it all to you, so that you could help guide my life, so that you could help put the things in my life that I need, you know. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. Hopefully that made sense. Yeah, thank you.